This is seriously the biggest gaming deal of all time. Like, if you actually just consider the fact that right now Microsoft and Xbox are purchasing Activision Blizzard, which is weird because this is just so many different games and studios, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, and also 10,000 employees. All of this for $70 billion. This is literally the biggest gaming deal of all time. But I want to talk more about the grander implications of this because I've seen a lot of talk about if this is going to hurt the PlayStation 5 or if this could end up really damaging the Nintendo Switch. And to me, that's the most fascinating story of all. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and real quickly, I did delve into this news in a more loose version this morning. That video is actually going viral right now, so hello to all the hundreds of new subscribers. Thanks so much for getting that video onto trending. It's probably going to break 100,000 views in the first 7 hours, which is kind of bonkers. But now let's talk a bit more technically about this. So ever since this news just initially broke, the main thing I keep seeing people talk about is the fact that now that Activision Blizzard is going to be fully consumed by Microsoft, people are saying, all right, how is Sony going to fight back? I keep seeing tweets like this. Sony has gotten lazy and less aggressive since the PlayStation 5 launched. PlayStation 5 is still selling more in the hardware sales race on the good name of the PlayStation 4, but it's time for them to step it up on the software. I'm even seeing things, this is actually one of the most famous reporters when it comes to Xbox news, Jez Corden, really good dude. Well, he straight up says, I wonder how Sony is going to react to this. It's about time for PlayStation to explore a major publisher acquisition too. This sentiment is a bit incorrect because Sony themselves is still managing to establish a lot. They are purchasing brands, they are making games. Sony is, in fact, selling still millions and millions and millions of all their stuff. It's kind of bonkers, actually, just how successful Sony manages to be. Same with Nintendo. In fact, I want to show you some numbers to back that up. This is the top 20 best-selling games of last year. So it's everything that sold the best in 2021 in the United States. This is the hard physical numbers of it. Now, what's interesting is the two best-selling games in all of North America, Call of Duty and Call of Duty. But then once you start to go down here, you start to see some exclusives popping up. Of course, we have Pokemon, which is always just such a juggernaut of moving units. And then just a few spaces below that, we have right here Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, this is, of course, a PlayStation exclusive, which is made, even just this right here, has clearly made a couple $1 billion. Then we have Mario Kart 8. Down here, we have another exclusive to Nintendo Switch, Super Mario World. A few slots below that, you can see things like Smash Brothers Ultimate. Like, it's kind of nuts to see the fact that a lot of these games, just here in the top 20, there is a lot of stuff that is incredibly successful and still exclusive. But how is this going to affect Sony in the long run? When I see this, the biggest thing that jumps out to me is that right now we're in a very strange spot where some of the most loved games, the most passionate developers, the things that we think of the most when it comes to really classic shooters, all of them are now owned by Microsoft. Like, straight up, here we have, this is every single studio that's now working exclusively for Microsoft. Oh my gosh, actually consider this. So right now we have things like the Coalition, which is making Gears of War, but even things like Call of Duty. Like, everybody loves classic Call of Duty. Classic Call of Duty is now owned by Microsoft. Doom, like High Noon Studios, Compulsion Games, Blizzard, Bethesda, like, even staring at this myself now, 343 Studios, Playground Games, Obsidian, I do think, objectively, that this is something that Sony should be worried about. I'm not saying that this is going to be the death of Sony. I'm not going to pretend that this is somehow going to just instantly cut the throats of every single one of the top developers over at Sony. I'm just saying that at this point, it's time for PlayStation to get nervous. But I actually consider this to be a giant positive. Now, I do own all the systems. I own a Switch, I own the PlayStation 5, I've got the Xbox Series X with my nice customized controller, but I also have things like my very, very powerful gaming PC, which I use to edit these videos. And I'm saying this as somebody with absolutely no bias, somebody that is able to just play these games on any platform they exist on. I think it is better to have fierce competition. My biggest fear right now is just in too much consolidation of power. Now, I'm going to say something that's just kind of be a bit more controversial, which is the fact that I think Disney is way too strong. Right now, Disney as an entity, like they own so many different studios, so many different things. Like it's crazy. Star Wars, all of Marvel, everything is just this huge giant blob of hundreds of billions of dollars. And to me, I do feel like this stifles creativity. I've talked to people in Hollywood who have straight up said that if Disney doesn't like you, you're not going to get very far inside the film industry. And to me, I'm starting to think that even if PlayStation does hit back, I'm starting to get nervous even about that concept. Right now, there's all sorts of just terms trending on Twitter. People saying like, all right, right now, Sony needs to buy Square Enix. Sony needs to buy Capcom. Sony needs to buy Konami and actually make them produce games again. As much as I'm in favor of that, because it means more production, more exclusive games that are going to run better on a particular platform, I also fear it. I want the console wars to rage as much as possible. And when I see this huge chart of exclusive games, everything, it's weird to think Spyro will probably only exist on Xbox consoles if we get another Crash Bandicoot. Like, this stuff is only going to live on Xbox and PC, which I do think is going to stifle the growth of these projects. But I want to take a look at this tweet right here from my buddy, Broken Games HD. He just says this: PlayStation needs to make games at an increased output and frequency. They own plenty of high-demand IPs, which they've ignored, that would sell and make an impact. How do they do it? And who do they have to get for them to figure it out? I don't believe buying a publisher is required. Honestly, I heavily agree with this take right now, which is straight up, just give us more games. Whenever I'm swinging around in New York City or just chilling out in the different projects being produced by these people, I feel like everything from Horizon Zero Dawn, everything that's about to happen with God of War, all the stuff like even Gran Turismo actually seems pretty fantastic. It seems like the games that are coming to PlayStation are fantastic. It's just the fact that they're not fast enough. Like, I feel like there's this problem right now, which is that Sony, they're good about leaving things in the oven long enough for them to be properly cooked, but when is there going to be that speeding up? When are they going to streamline the process so that we get these exclusives at a better pace? Now, one thing I do want to talk about is something that's come out after I filmed my initial video, which is that now, according to Bloomberg, they have leaked the fact that apparently Microsoft is still in talks to have some Activision games still exist on PlayStation consoles, but then have other stuff just be Xbox exclusive. So apparently, the main rumor of this is that stuff like Call of Duty makes so much money because of the stupid microtransactions and the season passes and junk like that. Call of Duty is probably still going to exist on multiple platforms. A lot of the MMORPGs that exist on different systems, a lot of the really heavily online experiences that are being developed by Activision and Blizzard, those are good on other platforms as well. They're already generating so many billions of dollars, they don't want to step in the way of that and break the money train, because right now they need a ROI, a return on investment. This is still just such a crazy thing. Of course, here's the main meme that kind of inspired this video. PlayStation after Microsoft buys another game company. I have nothing left except Spider-Man. All right, so this ain't exactly true. There's still a lot of different energy. There's a lot of goodness that's still in the Sony tank. But right now, my biggest concern is just give us the games. Figure it out. Hire more developers. Invest in yourself. Give us better timelines, better release dates, better demos. Show us why PlayStation can still count. An interesting side note, though, is that I've seen it going around the fact that apparently the total value of Nintendo is only worth $61 billion. So it seems like in some capacity, perhaps at some point, Microsoft could just engulf Nintendo. Is that even possible? Is this going to lead to some monopoly laws? I feel like we're getting close. Not quite with this deal, but if Nintendo still starts buying stuff up, if Microsoft keeps buying stuff up, if Sony starts making some acquisitions of this same scale, I do think that somebody is probably going to get in trouble with the government at some point. But honestly, I'm just so curious about it. What do you think about all these deals? Is this to you a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Thanks to all the new subscribers. Thanks for liking all my videos. Can this video get to 3,000 likes? Let's figure it out. You guys rock. I love you very much. I look forward to reading all those juicy comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a giant thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. Spider-Man! Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.